Welcome, everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're calling to order a regular meeting of the Jackson City Council, City of Jackson, Mississippi, May the 6th, 2025 at 10:04 a.m. With us today, we have Pastor James L. Henley, Jr. of Fresh Start Christian Church. Welcome, Pastor Henley. Make sure the mic is on. Just push that. And then following the invocation, I would ask that Mr. Hartley lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everyone please stand?
Please bow. Heavenly Father, we thank you for grace. We thank you for mercy. Lord, we thank you for all of these public servants who have answered the call. Heavenly Father, we know in your word, in Romans 13, it says that every government that is in place is there because you allowed it to be in place. And Lord, we know there's a purpose for them. And we thank you, Lord, that today they will think and reflect and then vote according to the purpose that you've given to each of them in their respective positions. Bless those in attendance, Lord. We love you, we praise you. In Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Henley. We appreciate that lovely invocation, and thank you, Mr. Hartley. Colleagues, are there any announcements this morning? Anyone have any? Mr. Hartley?
Just one. There is going to be a Get to Know Your Ward 5 candidates meeting today, and it's going to be at Grace Inspirational Church at 110 Grand Avenue, and it's going to start at 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hartley. Any other announcements, colleagues? All right, with that, we're going to move into public comment. We only have one person who is here, Reverend Merrick Walker, to speak on an agenda item. Is Reverend Walker actually here? Yeah, okay. And he's here to talk about item 32. Reverend Walker, if you would just come on to the mic, make sure the mic's turned on. As a friendly, before you start, and state your name for the record, but before you start, as a friendly reminder, you get 3 minutes if you are coming forward for public comment, and I would ask that you kindly respect that. 3 minutes, and the clerk will give you a notice, okay? And so with that, Reverend Walker, please begin. State your name.
Thank you. My name is Merrick Walker, pastor of Cherry Grove Missionary Baptist Church here in the great city of Jackson. Thank you again, President Lindsay, and to all of the council and to all of you. I want to first give appreciation and deference to all of you and all the work that you do. I want you to know that you do have a pastor in the city, one of many that support and believe in you and seek the positive things that you're doing, and grateful for the work that you all do. Having said that, I do want to just express quickly disappointment in the process of the bridge being repaired in the Georgetown community. I do want to say that Mr. Wright, and I really appreciate him, he spoke with me one-on-one and shared with me the details of what is going on, so I do really appreciate him doing that. But in this platform, just still wanted it to be said that we are disappointed that that process has not been rectified as of yet. I want to share quickly with us our church, Cherry Grove Missionary Baptist Church here in Jackson, in the heart of Jackson, the Georgetown community. Our church has been in Georgetown for the past 88 years. Our vision there is a gift church, G-I-F-T, growing in faith together. We really believe in that, growing in faith together. We have been heavily involved in our community in support of Lanier High School, the 833 Bulldog Nation, which is our adopted school for these past 20 years since I've been there. We have fed the underprivileged, hungry citizens in our Georgetown community over the past 15 years. We've provided summer camps and academic enrichment and a safe haven place for our youth in the summers over these past 20 years. We have been blessed to provide senior midday fellowship enrichment activities for seniors in the community that includes field trips, healthy meals, exercises, and dialogue with our local police department to get information to our elderly citizens in the community. I say all this simply to share with you that our church have always been actively involved in the Georgetown community on a shoestring budget. And so that leads me to my point and opportunity to share this with you all, that I wanted to ask the city council if there is any assistance that may be available that can help a 501c3 church like ours to further help the underprivileged and the vulnerable in our community. And if you would, I have just a folder. I try to put everyone's name.
Sir,
Yes, I'm
hand
sorry.
it to
Yeah, I don't know the protocol. Sorry about that. Thank you. And on that particular, in one of those folders is one addressed to each of you that just has an outline of some of the things that we are hoping to receive some assistance on. And when you look at it, or you get a chance to look at it, there are some key areas such as healthy meals, feeding outreach that we are currently doing but need assistance for the underprivileged youth and adults in our community, community service enrichment program for our vulnerable senior citizens in our community, summer enrichment youth program that includes literacy education, STEM education, and healthy meals in our underserved Georgetown community for our youth, learning center, daycare, preschool for our underserved Georgetown community citizens. So when you get that information, these are some things that we are striving to continue to do. Wanted to see how and if, in whatever kind of way the city council can assist us into accomplishing these things, to be a continued blessing for our Georgetown community.
Yes, sir, and thank you. I let you go over because this is a worthy cause, and so I appreciate that.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
No, it's okay. I mean, you came with a viable request, and so I'm sure when we all get the letter, we all can consider this. And Mr. Banks?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I just want to say, it is a positive thing. Marie Walker, was a defensive back from Jackson State. A lot of our wide receiver. Yeah, a lot of our students that come into Jackson State, people talk about how we lose young professionals. And Memphis, right? Yeah, he came here from Memphis, Tennessee, and instead of going back home to Memphis, he stayed, and he is committed and working in his community. And I just want to say that there's a bright star for a lot of people that come into this college city that want to really stay and help Jackson, and he's an inspiration. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming for us today. We'll look forward to getting your information. Okay, colleagues, we're moving on now to the non-agenda items, and first up is Ms. Jacqueline Amos, who's here to talk about the general election process. Ms. Amos, are you here? There you are. I didn't see you. Thank you. Welcome. And the mic, please turn the mic on. I'm back on, and state your name for the record. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is
Good morning.
Jacqueline Amos. I am the chair of the 2nd Congressional District here in the state of Mississippi. There are 30 counties in that particular district. I am here this morning to just ask for some more assistance for this upcoming general election. The election commissioners have been doing a yeoman's job, being that I understand that there's a tight budget, and they have made things work beyond comparison. So my hat's off to them. And I am here to see if I can get the council to understand the process, the election process. And right now, because of the redistricting, you guys redrew your lines, there are tons of voters that did not know that their voting precinct location had changed. So without the poll managers having the electronic poll books, which allow them to tell the voter where they need to go, where their precinct is automatically. They just go in, they pull it in, it pops up a receipt comes out and they give it to that voter, and that voter will go to and vote in the right precinct. That way, they know that their vote will count, okay? Our election commissioners have gone far beyond what I would have even expected. They actually had 4 or 5 different numbers for poll managers to call when voters came and they were not on the roll. And so your election commissioners were looking up polling locations. It's time consuming. People will leave. They will not vote, they will leave. If they leave, 9 times out of 10, they're not coming back. So because this is a general election, meaning that the Democratic nomination is over and the Republican nomination is over, so everyone's on the same ballot. If it is at all possible, if you all would consider getting with ES&S to help make this general election a lot smoother than actually the primaries and the runoffs. It would really and truly help a lot, because a lot of us get out on our own and we try to help people. But if they have the equipment, it's a lot easier and it's a lot less stressful on Election Day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And we appreciate your coming before us and pointing out these issues. And we'll get with Ms. Harris, I guess, and we'll discuss it. Is that?
Do you have any questions for me?
And we'll,
No? Okay,
thank you.
all right, okay, thank you.
All right. All right, so next we have Ronalda James, who you yielded your time to Ms. Amos. Ms. Amos, did you have anything else you would like to discuss? You do? Okay. So you have another 3 minutes. Ms. James, thank you.
The other complaint that have come are making sure that the polling locations are ADH accessible. I received several phone calls, and they could not get their wheelchair up. I did call downtown, and I have it written down. I'll give it to you. I will, I'll get it to you. I'll get it. I did not bring that. Yes, sir.
Okay, I see you. Let her finish. Are you finished?
Yes, ma'am. As far as that's concerned, and if it is at all possible, please see what you can do so that we do not have hiccups on June the 3rd. It needs to be as smooth of a process as possible. Okay.
Mr. Banks?
Yeah, just a question. Do we have enough of those portable curve machines for seniors where there can be curbside voting?
Angela Harris, Municipal Clerk. There are not machines for curbside voting. We have to physically go out to poll managers and get their information and bring it in. So there's not machines for curbside voting, but they are, we have what you call express votes that's inside of the precincts for those that has disabilities.
All right, but I guess the question I'm asking, does curbside voting still exist for those seniors that drive up?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Normally, they have someone to come with them. They'll come inside to let them know, and we also offer that as well when we do absentee voting. And let me address, if you don't mind, about the ADA. Every voting precinct that we are aware of, they have ramps. Now, I am aware of one voting precinct, the ramp was not wide enough for that wheelchair to make it up, and we were not aware of that because we get our voting, we contract with the county and we use their ADA ramps because we don't have any. And so once I'm going to get with them to see if they have a wider ramp to put at that one particular precinct that was brought to our attention.
Thank you. Mr. Hartley?
Yes, Ms. Amos, first of all, thank you for coming. Your position is, what was that again?
Second Congressional District Chair.
Okay, so you're chair. What was the turnout, what did the turnout look like?
Dismal, 22%.
22%
Yeah.
turnout. Were there any particular areas where we had most of the problems with precincts?
No, well, as far as running out of, or coming close to running out of ballots, but other than that, I believe the only ones that I really was active with was trying to help people find out where they're supposed to go.
And were there particular
and where they're
areas?
Right.
There were particular areas where
Yes,
there were some
I'll give you an
difficulties?
example. We've got a couple of precincts, and in that one precinct, and that's Black's Chapel, there were actually 4 people that have always voted at Black's Chapel, and all 4 of them have been assigned or moved out of Black's Chapel to another polling location, precinct, like really far. And they're older. So, I mean, that's a story for another day, I think, that we
Well, we certainly
really
appreciate,
need to sit down and talk about that.
certainly appreciate you coming in, and anything you can do to work with our municipal election
Oh, yeah.
staff would certainly be appreciated.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have your hand up, Mr. Brazil? Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you for coming before us today. We really appreciate your efforts and your time, and also all your work on Election Day. All right, next we have Patrick Powell, who is here to speak about the VFW 5K run.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay, thank you for coming before us. Please state your name for the record.
Thank you for having me. My name is Patrick Poe. I'm the commander of Brooks Williams Stewart VFW Post 9832. I'm here to speak about our memorial race walk run that we have coming up for May 24th. We will have on-site registration at 7. The race starts at 8. Only costs $25, and you do get a T-shirt for the race. The event will take place starting at the VFW, and the route in itself will go through the historic Bel Air community. We do this race to remember those who in the armed forces members who have served and passed on because of their service. They paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. So that's why we're doing this race. Another reason we're doing the race is to raise money for the Jackson Veteran Nursing Home. So the proceeds from this race will go to them. And finally, to show support for the community in which we serve. Our post is in that community, and we just want to give back to the community and continue to be a community partner for that community. What we need from the city is just support, get the word out, get some folks to sign up, because again, those proceeds will go to benefit those at the Jackson Veterans Nursing Home. One of the support I was told to put down is we have one section of the street that we're going to be running on where it's a little uneven. So we're not asking to pave the whole street, but maybe just that section can get it to even out for us. That will help us on the day of the race.
Yes.
That's on the corner of Sunray and Sunset. So as soon as you turn the corner, there's a little dip right there. That's kind of if we can get that address for the race, that would be great.
Mr. Wright, you got that? Thank you, Mr. Wright. We appreciate that. All right.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Brazil.
since he's putting in a request, can we right-of-ways cut on Sunray? They had Loyalty Day the other day, Sunday, served amazing barbecue, by the way, but the right-of-ways, the grass and the brush just basically took over the street. And so if they're gonna come through, especially in my neighborhood, I would really like to, have a clean path for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hartley?
Okay, I don't know if we're going to get into a right-of-way request. Everybody has it, But first of all, I want to thank you gentlemen for your service. Okay, and this is the location over there off Northside Drive, right? The
Right,
VFW.
Sunset, Sunray Street, yes.
I go there occasionally.
Okay.
And for older vets, do you have like a slow lane or something for folks that was damaged in a war or something?
It is a
Are you
walk
talking
run.
about
It's a
crawling,
walk
Mr.
run.
Hartley? I mean,
But thank you so much for everything you guys do, and the fund will go to the homes, the VA homes and all.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank
And your
you.
contact information is on that list?
Yes, in the flyer.
Okay, and so if someone just want to make a donation, they can
Yes,
do
they go to
that?
the flyer, we have a sign up, there's a link on the flyer where you can go and sign up and just make a donation, and that'll be fine.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you very much for
I'm sorry,
coming
this is my
before
comrade
us
Horde,
today.
he's here with me also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Officer, JPD, JSU.
Yes, thank you. I'm Herman Horton. I'm the former chief at Jackson State University and former commander at Jackson Police Department Training Academy.
Oh, well,
Thank you.
welcome. We're so glad you're
Thank you.
here. And y'all have, you're working with our event committee, right? You've got the barricades and
yes,
everything you
ma'am.
did. You got everything else you need. Thank you so much for coming before us today. We're
Thank you all.
grateful.
You left us
right.
registration forms?
Oh, Ms. Clay wants to know if you left registration forms. Are they online, the registration forms? The registration forms, are they online?
Yes, ma'am. So if you get the flyer, we have it on,
I'll send everybody the link.
if you would go out to the Run Sign Up, that's the website that we do, it's called runsignup.com. And if you just type in VFW Post 9832, it'll come up. It's the only one there.
I'll make sure they get the link.
Okay.
Everybody.
Thank you very much. We'll have no excuses, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Good, okay, good. All right, next we have Mr. Matt Thomas, who's here from 1547 Fairwood Road, who wants to talk to us about taxes.
Good morning, and thank you, Council and Ms. Lindsay. And young lady, I'll give you back 2 minutes, okay? I am here to ask a question that maybe you think that it's a little stupid, that I can't understand it. So let me just tell you really what it's about. I want an explanation from dealing with taxes. When I reviewed my 22, 23, and 24 tax statement, basically it was duplicative because it was the same. And I thank you for not going up on my taxes. You didn't reduce them either. But I want to know, how did you allow the largest department, which is water and sewer, to be given, taken, or transferred, whichever you want to call it, from the city's control and payment, and our bill is the same, tax bill? Yes?
Dr. Amari, do you have a response to
I'm
that?
not sure I understand the question or the connection between
Well,
the two.
let me give you a for instance then. I would think that if you were to buy a building and you had a contract for X amount of expenditures to be given toward upkeep, and then you no longer had that, you would have a reduction of expenditures for that particular location. My question is, the taxes are the same before and after transferring city sewage and water to wherever it went. My question is, we still have the same budget apparently, and apparently we have the same expenditure. But I did not see it, and I got a feeling 25 won't be any different.
Okay, sir, so your taxes didn't support water, sewer. You're talking about your property taxes, am I
Property
correct?
taxes, right.
Yeah, they didn't support water and sewer. That's an enterprise fund that's supported by the bill that you pay, the water bill, the sewer, the trash pickup. Those are not supported by your taxes. So, and I'd also like to say that even though water sewer is being managed by Jackson Water, the city still owns it.
it's still ours. But with regards to why your taxes didn't change, it's because your taxes don't support the water sewer department, if I'm understanding you correctly. My understanding is you're saying that because it was transferred to Jackson Water, your property taxes should have gone down. Your property taxes support things like Jackson Public Schools.
May I interrupt there? I think
Sure.
if you look on that particular statement, you will see that the taxes that were due schools was separate and given to them.
Car tax.
For the schools.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
but part of property taxes go to the schools to be
Yeah,
part
part
of
of
it.
the
Yeah, part
property
of it,
taxes
yeah.
go to the school district
They
as
get a
well.
lot, but
I guess the simplest answer then is that your taxes don't support the water sewer enterprise. So whether we have it or not, your property taxes are going to remain the same. That's why you haven't seen a change.
Okay, I'll be back next week then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam,
Just a minute.
appreciate everybody.
Mr. Foote, did you have anything? No, it's not right. Okay. Mr. Hartley?
Yes, and thank you, Mr. Thomas, for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Hartland.
We had a conversation last week, and it actually brought up some interesting points. First of all, I see there's a need for education here. We need to understand where all these taxes are going to. And one of the other things that we pay a convenience fee. And that is what I've been told, and that is for us to be a part of the water system itself. So we're paying that convenience fee, and we're paying the tax, and somewhere in the mix, it's like, I just think we just need a broader education. I don't know if you had an opportunity, but I invited you to call Mr. Mellenbecker and have a good conversation with him. Perhaps he could.
Maybe you've confused me further. And so you're saying that you pay, what kind of tax to who?
The ad valorem.
Ad valorem taxes.
It goes to your basic general fund, police, fire, all the regular stuff that the cities, your enterprise runs like a business. So, I think now if you're talking about what Mr. Hartley just touched on, which is that convenience fee, that is something that Jackson Water set.
Say that again.
If you're talking about the convenience fee, that is something that Jackson Water set.
Jackson Water
Yes,
is the one that sets the convenience fee?
Yes,
For
yes.
the city of Jackson.
yes. It's not for the city, it's for themselves,
It's for the, yeah,
for them to
Jackson
operate.
Water.
And then we're being charged by Jackson Water
Yes, sir.
for the convenience of using their water or our water, which is it?
I hear where you're going.
They're managing the water system, so we're being charged a convenience fee by the managers.
Thank you. I see why you got elected, Sam.
But that does bring up the questions, okay, we are paying that convenience fee, but also we're being taxed as well.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
Y'all, I think this is, thank you.
Yeah, but I do want to, I
Thank
want to
you
make sure
for,
that this part here is the only one I want to say. There is a tax on our bill. I'm corporate, I'm a business. I have a state tax and a city tax that's attached to our bill. But it's from the same place they got the water.
Well, this
No,
is, this is a lesson that we need to continue offline, perhaps. Ms. Dr.
Yes,
Omari?
that's what I was going to suggest. If you could give your contact information to Chris Gray, he was, oh, there he is, in the back. If you could give we can set up a meeting between you and Mr. Mellenbecker, and he can actually go through all of that tax and what the distinctions and all of that is for you.
Thank you.
Okay, and hopefully answer your questions better.
And thank
than
all
we
of
did.
you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Thomas.
Thank you for coming before us, Mr. Thomas. All right, next, number 5 is Zach Service. He's here to talk about salaries and contracts. Welcome.
Hey, Zach Service, resident of Ward 3. Also, in regards to the voting issue with precincts, for those who are not aware, you can go to myelectionday.sos.state myelectionday.ms. Again, that's myelectionday.sos.state.ms.us, and it will give you an option to put in your address and find out your polling and precinct location. Now, I'm not positive if there's any discrepancies in that, but it should be the most up-to-date information. Now, I came to speak about two things. One, I submitted a public records request on April 27th for the salaries of all city employees, including the mayor and his cabinet. They told me that they don't have to have that to me till May the 7th, but I'm fully aware that there is one single spreadsheet referred to as Loader that has all of those salaries already in it, and it would take you about 5 minutes to send that to me because all your directors already have it. And they keep telling me, well, we have to get with legal for that. Why do you have to get with legal to give me the salary information, which is supposed to be public record? I don't understand why that would take 7 days to simply send me a spreadsheet that already exists. I find that to be a little disingenuous. So I'd like to have that today, not by tomorrow, because you could send it right now and attach it to an email. That being said, and I know this because former city employees already told me that it exists, so I'm fully aware what there is, and if it's not, I would say that that's poor accountability to not already know your salaries of your employees and have that available to send to those who make a request. That being said, I also want to draw attention to the fact that we are giving today 2 more contracts to Socrates Garrett Enterprises, now totaling today the amount of $15,000 with 2 of them put together. 2 weeks before he ran for mayor, Socrates Garrett Enterprises received 2 contracts with the city. Then after losing the election, he suddenly received 6 more. And he, after today, will have accrued about $100,000 worth of contracts with the city since deciding to run for mayor. Nothing personal, but that just seems a little strange to me. The math ain't mathin', to quote my generation. So I just want to encourage y'all, make sure that we're spreading these contracts evenly, because these contract numbers for these demolitions seem a little higher than the average. And I'm aware of people in the city who have offered to do many of these demolitions more around $4,000, $4,500. So I'm concerned that we're not getting the best prices that we can on these contracts for these demos. I'd like us to make sure that we're not doing anything as a favor, and that it's actually a fair process, especially since bids under $4,000 don't need a, contracts for demos under $4,000 don't need a bid at all, and under $75,000, it's not an open bidding process. But I would encourage y'all to do more open bids on those demos so we can get the best price for the citizens. Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on, colleagues.
Let me just comment that every
All right.
single one of those bids is an open bid.
I appreciate that, Dr. Moore. Okay, did you want to comment, Mr. Banks?
Yeah, I just, I don't like misinformation, but for demo and for grass and weed, it is an open bid process, and it's handled through community improvement. And there are people that have been doing business with the city of Jackson for years, and so there's no hanky-panky going on, and it's just unfortunate that that would be said in this meeting.
Thank you. All right. Well, on that note, we're moving on to the consent agenda. I'm going to need to pull item 7 from the consent agenda. It is incorrect. It'll come back at the next meeting with the correct information. Will the clerk please get the item on the floor?
All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on this. I'm assuming there's no additional conversation. Again, item 7 is being pulled. All in favor? It carries with the vote of 7-0. Thank you. All right, we're moving now to item number 10, which is introduction of ordinances. Clerk?
Ordinance for the compensation for the municipal election commissioners, poll managers, resolution board, and box helpers amended to include facility usage fees and to compensate law enforcement officers.
All right, colleagues, Ms. Harris has asked that we go in ahead and consider this one today so it can take effect before the election. I would entertain a motion to do so.
Madam President? Oh.
Yes, sir, Mr. Banks? Oh,
Yeah, Madam President, I move that we, let's not suspend the rules. I move that we move this up to adoption.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All right. It is now up, the item is now on the floor up for adoption. We don't need to read it again, do we? Okay.
Question? Oh, you got to get on the floor
Yeah,
again?
go ahead, please.
Ordinance for the compensation for municipal election commissioners, poll managers, resolution board, and box helpers amended to include facility usage fees and to compensate law enforcement officers.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and adopt this ordinance today. Do we have any questions regarding this ordinance? Mr. Foote and then Mr. Banks.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. I just, for purposes of information here, since this was originally an introduction, now we're actually voting on the ordinance. So it's for the compensation, but if I, am I right to think that the compensation doesn't change for that there's no change in the compensation for the commissioners, poll managers, resolution board, and box helpers? But there is, now it includes, I guess the change is it includes usage fees for the facilities, and then the law enforcement officers, to compensate them, are these law enforcement officers that are off duty from the regular law enforcement?
Angela Harris, Municipal Clerk. Those are Hinds County Deputy Sheriffs. Yes, they do take off when they have to work.
Okay, so they're not getting paid by the county, this is their off time, and so we're going to pay them.
I'm not sure how they do, but in the past, most of them have put in vacation requests to be off.
So how much are we paying them? What's the compensation for their time at the poll?
They charge $40 an hour.
$40 an hour, but they are not being paid by the, so I guess my question is, if they're getting paid by the county, I have a problem with getting paid an extra $40 an hour while if they're on duty anyway.
Councilman Foote, the county does not provide that services that we need. And so this just like if you go and decide to, turn in some vacation time to do something else to get compensated for, then that's your regular job and that's your right to do that. We don't have
Okay.
any control of that, but we need the services that,
Well, I'm
that
not
they provide.
I'm not saying we don't need the services. I just want to make sure that they're not, at that time, they're not on duty with the county. They're on vacation time.
These
Yes.
are off-duty officers.
Off-duty
Yes,
officers.
they're off
Okay,
duty, yes.
That's the point I wanted to make sure I understood.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Banks and then Mr. Hartley.
My question is there enough in your budget to cover this?
Currently, yes, but, when I mentioned we are going to have to make a budget amendment to pull some more funds in to be able to cover the general, we just don't have it.
Is it something that we need to act on sooner rather than later? I guess that I'm getting to, if we're going to do this and approve this order, I think the council has made good habit of making sure those funds are already in place when we do the order.
Yes, I think Mr. Mellenbecker had mentioned to y'all about the extra $200,000 that we need, and I think he's looking to try to see where the funds would come from before he brings it to the council.
And
But
what-
the money is in your budget right now.
Yes.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Hartley.
Yeah, just a quick, simple question. The reason we're not using JPD for the municipal is, go ahead.
We will talk about it offline.
We discussed that in work session yesterday. We discussed it in work session yesterday.
I didn't remember that part.
Just
I
going
think it's a
ahead.
legitimate question.
I do too. I think you can say what you said in work session. I mean, it was public meeting.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I wasn't in work session.
I spoke.
Oh, you spoke because you weren't here.
Yeah, she
I'm
was
sorry.
not here.
Dr. Omar?
And essentially what I said is that the county has traditionally handled security for elections,
Yeah.
and that's why we were going with them. Now, if there's a deeper reason, then, and I'm not privy to that, and that would have to come from Ms. Harris, and I'm assuming it's a personnel issue, which is why she would say executive session.
No, historically, it's been for political reasons, because of, they said the mayor, with the police, the mayor oversees the chief police, so, people won't feel like they're being intimidated with JPD officers, so that's why we utilize a yeah.
Okay,
That makes total sense.
good, thank you.
Conflict of interest.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, good. Yes, sir, Mr. Stokes?
Thank you. Ms. Harris, in terms of the city paying and the county pay, are we on equal footing? How much the county pay their workers and how much the city paying their workers?
Yes, sir. That's why we did an amendment to the ordinance back in March to make the compensation align with the county for the poll managers, because they had a fear that if we didn't match what the county was paying, we wouldn't get quality poll managers to work.
Okay, have you considered maybe us paying a little more than the county? Just don't have to answer that now, another time. Legal, can you guide us, Madam President? I keep hearing we got budget revisions and spending money. Some kind of state law that prevent us from spending so much during the election year and those kind of things. Can you make sure that we never supersede, overspend what we're supposed to, and give the council members a copy of that state law so we all understand and be on the same page? Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. All right, and thank you, Ms. Harris. All right, any other questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, all in favor? It carries with a vote of 7-0. Thank you, colleagues. We're moving on now to, we're pulling item 11, and we're moving on now to item 12, which is claims.
Order approving claims appearing at pages 396 to inclusive thereon on the municipal docket of claims in the amount of $6,600,139.29 for and making appropriation for the payment thereof.
So move.
We have a motion and a second. I'm sorry, Ms. Timms, would you please give us
Sharon Timms, Deputy
larger
CFO.
claims?
I'm asking that we amend the claims docket on the floor. We need to pull invoice number 204, the Evans Agency Incorporated, for $291,806. There is a discrepancy in the
Second.
bill.
We have a motion and a second. Colleagues, all in favor of amending claims to remove invoice number 204? Opposed? Wait, all in favor of the amendment to remove? Okay, it's 7-0. All right, we now have the item before us as amended. Ms. Timms, please go over the items, please, the larger claims items.
The larger claims will be Public Employees Retirement System for $2,074,344.89. That's the transfer of taxes for April 2025. For Fund 55, the Disability Relief Fund. Dickerson and Bowman Incorporated, which is in Public Works, for $1,655,944.59. That is for Street Resurfacing Project Phase 1A. That is Fund 173, the 1% infrastructure tax. MV Contract Transportation is with Planning and Development. It's for $273,692.94. That's for the March 2025 Paratransit Services, Fund 187 Transportation Fund. And the Evans Agency Incorporated is $242,623. That's the WC Insurance February Premium General Fund, from the General Fund.
You said the Evans Agency was what?
The insurance premium for February is
Oh,
from the
okay.
General Fund.
And that's not the one you just took out, right? Okay. Just making
Okay.
sure.
And what was that amount again? I'm sorry. The
The one-
Evans Agency?
The one that we pulled for, is
No,
invoice?
no.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry.
The one on the,
242,623.
that's not what's on my sheet.
That's the sheet I was given.
Okay, the Evans agent, I've got, am I looking at it wrong? It's 291,800.
Then that would be the one we're pulling.
Hold on. So in,
That's the one you pulled? That's larger claims.
Madam,
That's the one you pulled?
Yes.
Okay, that's the one you pulled.
That's the
Okay.
one I got from Jill that we're pulling.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Banks?
yeah, I just want to ask the clerk, what amount did you get as far as the one being pulled?
As far as the one being pulled, $291,806.
Okay, all right.
But the one we're approving is how much for the Evans agency?
What's the amount? You had it, Mr. Wright. A new larger claim was sent,
Oh, okay.
and
It's
it
an
was
updated one.
$242,623.00.
Okay, I just didn't have the updated
Thank
one.
you,
Okay.
thank you. I get it now. All right, thank you. It's just my sheet didn't have that one, so,
Gotcha.
my cheat sheet. All right, thank you. All right, colleagues, any questions or
Question.
comments? Yes, sir, Mr.
Thank you.
Stokes.
Energy, how much are we paying energy today?
I would probably have to add those up. Let me see if I can get a quick answer for you.
A ballpark, that's close enough.
Mr. Stokes, I believe in last meeting, the last city council meeting, we approved about $300,000 for energy.
Ms. Tim, how much total yearly are we paying energy? I'm talking about all accounts, street lights, like today, this issue and everything else, because the city is mighty, mighty, mighty dark. And especially in some wards, it's pitch black, and, you know, we've heard everything about people shooting out lights. They're not replacing lights, and now, sooner or later, we got to talk about the possibility of our legal department have a meeting with them. Maybe we need to go to court to make sure we get some justice, because it's hard. It's going to be people getting killed. Madam President, when you got people walking these streets and they're dark and you can't see them, when you come up on them, you about to run over. You know, it's got to be other things to be concerned about, and I don't know. I know Mr. Wright right now, he can probably get us through it trying to meet with him, but somewhere down the line, we got to get somebody with energy to realize this city need to be a lot brighter. You know, I don't know what the solution is. They're the experts. But we cannot continue to let this city, we keep paying a bill, but we're not receiving service.
It's several $1 million. I will get you that answer today,
All right,
what we paid out in the last 2 or 3 years.
all right, thank you.
Thank you, and you made note of Mr. Stokes' request for a meeting. Yeah. Mr. Foote?
Thank you, ma'am. President, my question is on this sheet here that we're given the longer list. There's an item down here, 0223, that's the fund. Hail damage, March of 2013, $52,282.08. I remember the big storm we had back then, obviously did a lot of hail damage. I'm curious what we would be, why would it be showing up here in 2025, 12 years later for $52,000?
Because a lot of the Zurich money was placed there, because that's where the hail damage came from, the hail damage fund.
okay.
So we just placed it in that account to keep a track of all the expenses, to
So
keep them all together.
this is money going out or coming in?
Money going out that we paid out.
To be paid out to who?
I would have to look it up exactly who it went out to.
But it comes from the Zurich settlement.
Exactly.
Okay, I'd just be curious who we're paying out at this point in time for the hail damage, if you got that information.
I would have to look it up. I'd have to look all through this, but I'll find it for you before
Okay.
we leave here.
All right, we know,
All right, thank you. All right, colleagues, any other questions or comments on claims? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed?
Nah, you voted for claims. You voted. Whoa. If I voted for it, I can vote against it, right?
I don't think so, Mr.
I saw that. I saw that.
If I
You
voted
made
for it, I
history.
can't vote against it?
You made history.
You already voted for it.
So it's a vote of 5 to 2. No, wait, what are you saying? I have to start over. No, I want to keep that on the record.
Let history.
I thought that was a going away present, Mr. Stokes. All right, I have to start over, the clerk says.
No, it's all right.
You gonna vote for it?
No, it's all right. Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go.
That is
Let it
my
go.
presence. Thank you, Mr. Stokes.
I don't have a problem with it.
It's a vote of 5 to 2. Thank you very much. Well, wow. All right. All right, we're moving on now to payroll. Thank you.
Order approving gross payroll, including payroll deduction claims number 317672, and make an appropriation for the payment thereof.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on payroll? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Thank you. We're moving now to item number 14.
Order ratifying and authorizing payment to Advantage Business Systems, Inc. for printing and copying services for the Internal Audit Division.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Thank you. Item 15.
Resolution of the City of Jackson, Mississippi, adopting the Public Employees Retirement System of the Mississippi's proposed millage tax to support the cost of living adjustment under the municipal retirement systems.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We had a good conversation about this yesterday in work session. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stokes.
Legal, could you help me with this, please? The proposed changes that the governor was suggesting through the legislature, to your knowledge, what would take place?
The short answer, Drew Martin, City Attorney, there were two, I think, proposals that were both on the floor, and neither one of them ultimately passed. We discussed them recently, but I'll be honest, without them in front of me, I'd be reluctant to say too much, but I'd be glad to get a summary for you of how it would impact.
Well, what would help us with the summary, what do you think will happen in the future?
Well, it depends on which they pass, but the short answer is they look like they're trying to pass off PERS responsibilities so that new hires or people that are rehired into the system would receive significantly less benefit in the future than people currently receive.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments about this item? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Oh, I didn't see. All right, so it's a vote of 7-0. Thank you. Item 16.
Order revising the FY 2024-2025 budget for the Department of Municipal Clerk.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. We discussed this as well, and again, Ms. Harris wasn't here, but Dr. Omari explained it in work session yesterday. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Thank you. 17.
Order ratifying continued use of Office 365 Teams and authorizing the payment of invoice M105633A received on April 9, 2025 from Metric Solutions for the renewal of 1,400 Microsoft Exchange licenses, 25 Office 365 G3 licenses, and 1 Office 365 GCC G1 product at a total cost of $74,186.40.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments, Mr. Foote?
Thank you, Madam President. My question is the 1,400 licenses, who all, that's a lot of licenses, who do they cover?
Miriam Reed, Department of Information Technology. It covers our city employees.
So every city employee that's using a computer is covered by this license.
Right, all city employees have a city email.
This is for email?
Yes, it's for email.
It costs us $74,000 for email?
Yes.
Wow. Thank you.
It's the licenses.
All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, it's a vote of 6 to 1, thank you. Item 18, colleagues.
Order awarding a matching grant to Stupot Community Services, Inc. for the provision of emergency shelter services during the severe weather and authorizing the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding with Stupot Community Services, Inc. for the provision of the same.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments about this item?
Just to
We
come-
did talk about it yesterday. Yes?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Stu Pot for all the exceptional work that they're doing. I'm not sure if we have a representative here today, but just, again, the shelters, the feeding, all these services to the homeless community, and it's over in my ward, so I'd like to just publicly thank Stu Pot. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Item 19,
Order authorizing yearly membership renewal and authorizing payment to Species 360 for continued use of its zoological information management software for the Jackson Zoo.
So moved. Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any questions
Question.
or comments, Mr. Stokes?
Thank you, Minister. Do we have on the drawing board to purchase or lease more animals, especially giraffes? That's the major complaint I hear. We don't have a giraffe.
Abram Muhammad, Parks and Rec. That's one of the purposes of this membership. It helps with the database collection. It adds to what we have and also gives us an idea of what we have spread it throughout, along with medical and health records. So when we do get into the acquisition of animal exchange or the purchase of an animal exchange, you must be a part of this particular membership, have this membership in order to take that exchange to take place. So once this is in place, then we can start the discovery of looking to see those animals we can do an exchange with or purchase.
Well, I know that the classes y'all have is working, because people in these neighborhoods talk to me, and they said we have one of the few, I think, albino rhinoceros, or
Yes, sir, Big Mike.
it's what now?
Big Mike, that's his name.
Rhinoceros.
Yes, sir.
When people came to me and told me about that, I said, what?
Yes, sir.
So we got things to offer that others don't have, some don't know, so we're gonna have to find a way to let them know. We might not have a giraffe, but we got, Big Mike.
Yes, sir. Well, we're gonna, and Big Mike is a big feature. So we're gonna do better at realigning some things in the budget so we can advertise a little better. And if those funds are not there, then I've already spoken with Dr. Omari. I'm gonna take up a singing gig at night to get the rest of the money so we can advertise more. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, sir, we just got to advertise better as what we're doing, how we're doing, to offer the public to come and see exactly what we have. And disc golf has been instrumental in bringing people over from after playing disc golf, coming over and exploring the zoo. We've seen a 13% increase in the last 2 months since disc golf has been installed, with the increase of attendance in the zoo.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Thank you. Item 20,
Order authorizing the mayor to expend $3,000 from the Planning and Development budget to reimburse travel expenses from the Bloomberg American Sustainable Cities I-Team for participating in various planning and economic development-related conferences.
So moved.
Second.
a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, all in favor? Carries.
Abstain.
Okay, we have a vote of 6 with 1 abstention. All right. We are moving on now to item 21.
Order amending order authorizing the mayor to execute grant agreement between the City of Jackson and Micro Enterprises to expend community development block grant funding from the Department of Housing and Urban Development totaling $80,359.66 for economic development activities in the Jackson Metropolitan Statistical Area.
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. I think we discussed this one yesterday. Any additional questions or comments, Mr. Hartley?
Name and title.
Maya Lee, Minority Business Development Manager.
Okay, can you just give me the elevator view of this particular item?
So this particular grant is for our minority enterprise businesses in the city of Jackson, and this is actually for the Taste of an Island. In the original order, there was a typo in the pricing that was awarded. So this is just correcting that typo.
Okay, and overall, how's our minority business department coming along?
Yes, sir.
Is it doing well?
It's doing pretty great.
Okay, Madam Chair, just a quick question. Did we approve money for a diversity study? I'm trying to remember, Mr. Banks, disparity study. Was that approved?
We did set it aside.
We set aside some, but it wasn't enough.
Okay, I'd like for us to revisit that sometimes.
I think it was only like $150,000. Is that right, Mr. Banks?
A little bit more than that.
How much do you remember?
Two something.
It wasn't
It was at least two.
500,000.
No, it wasn't.
It was at least
Yeah.
200.
So anyway,
Okay, thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Abstain, Madam
Okay,
President.
so we have 6 in favor with 1 abstention. All right, item 22.
Order declaring 9.46 acres, more or less, of parcel number 307-1 surplus property and authorizing renewal of a land lease to the United States of America for use of an Army Reserve Center.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? We did discuss this yesterday.
Yeah, just to comment, and that is, this is income coming in now. And
Yes.
so that's a very good
Instead of
thing.
zero. That's right.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hartley. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Thank you. Item 23.
Order authorizing the purchase of two-way radio systems and accessories to be utilized by the city's public transit system from Communications International, Inc. pursuant to the Mississippi Department of Information Technology Express Purchase List Number 850000913.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Item 24.
Order authorizing the mayor to issue a refund to the United States Department of Transportation Federal Transit Administration in the amount of $963,864.08, covering the period from April 4, 2020 to January 22, 2022.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is Ms. Welch here? Do y'all?
Yeah, we were going to have some discussion.
We discussed this yesterday in work session, but because I think a lot of us have gotten questions about it, I would like for Ms. Welch to just briefly explain it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Christine Welch, Transit Services. As I stated on yesterday, we're not losing this funding. It's being returned to the grant because we drew it down at the incorrect ratio. We do 80-20, 50-50. This was during COVID where we drew down at 100%. So these are not funds that we're losing. We're just returning the funds to the grant. And as soon as they're posted to the grant, we will in turn we already have expenses we've incurred that we will draw these funds back and return them to general fund.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments, Mr. Hartley?
I did just have one minor question. In lieu of some of the changes on the federal level with a lot of grants and other programs, do you see it as affecting this?
No, these are older grants. These are grants we've already had executed that still have funds on them. That we had one that was closed, but these are not any of the newer funds.
Thank you so much.
Question.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Ms. Welch. I know that you'll keep your eye on this money and it'll come back even though we're transferring it. Did you say we had already spent it?
we spent it at the incorrect ratio. This was done at 100%. And when it should, some of it was at 80-20, 50-50. So we're returning the portion that we drew down in excess of what it should have been.
Okay, what I'm trying to hear, did you say that we had spent it? Did we spend the money, and now we finna get some money back if we spend it?
No, sir. No, I said we drew down too much from the grant.
So we drew it
And
down,
now
but we
we're
didn't spend
returning-
it?
Yeah, when we draw money down, that's what we have done. We've expensed that money for a bill. The city of Jackson pays transit's bills on the front end, and then we draw the revenue back to put back down to put in the general fund, to reimburse the general fund.
So we didn't spend the money, that's what I'm trying to hear. We didn't
Yes, it was
spend it.
spent, it was spent during the time period.
Okay, so we did spend the money, put a pin in that. So if we spent the money, where are we getting money from to pay this back?
This will come out of general fund.
Okay, we're gonna pay this back with general fund money?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
The ratio.
Councilman Banks said I made to make some things a little clearer. We drew down too much from the grants. This was a total of four grants. During the time period of COVID, there were a lot of grants and money that we received where it was at 100%. We mistakenly drew down the wrong amount for three of the line items.
I hear what you're saying, Ms. Welch, and My-
Doctor, I'm sorry, go ahead.
my concern is that I keep hearing that we spent the money, but we're gonna pay this amount that we have on the agenda back, but we're gonna pay it back through general fund money.
All
That's
of
what
our
I
bills are
thought I
paid
heard.
through general fund, sir. The grants do not cover J-Tran at 100%. Even to this day, we have 50-50, 80-20, and then there are line items that are not even covered by a grant.
I
They come
understand-
directly from general fund.
I understand that.
Okay,
I understand everything you're saying,
okay.
but I want to make sure we get this on the record that this money was spent. And from it being spent, we paying it back through general fund money, even though you're saying that, excuse me, that we're gonna be able to use the money later. Is that what you're saying?
No, sir, not quite what I'm saying.
Okay, well, let me hear it one more time, please.
So do we?
Wait a
spend-
minute, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Dr. O'Moran, I think can offer some
spent
clarity,
money
and
we
she's
didn't
had her
have.
hand up for a while. Dr. O'Moran?
Yes,
Right, we spent money we didn't.
so I just wanted Ms. Welch to go back to what she said in the beginning to explain how we're not losing the money from the grant, even though it's coming out of the general fund. Can you go back to the good news part of that?
Yes, ma'am. The good news is that this month, these funds are being returned to active grants that we draw down when we expense money today. All of our expenses come directly from general fund, and then the grant reimburses general fund, and that's something we do monthly. So these activities this fund's 900 and plus million, is going back to general fund. We in turn already have expenses that the city has paid from general fund that we in turn draw this money down at the correct ratio.
Well,
Go ahead.
thank you. The reason I'm asking, and if we got, and I know with this situation, the general fund money that you say we always used to pay our bills with for the buses. The reason I'm asking is because I keep asking year after year after year for some benches or somewhere for people to sit. It's awful that we see people want to ride our bus sitting on the ground. I call it sitting on the dirt. And if we got money, then why are we not providing seats for these citizens who ride these buses? They standing up, leaning on signs and everything else. It seems like we're totally disrespecting them. They paying good money to ride our buses, but it's uncomfortable for them to have children and others sitting on the ground in 2025. So what I would ask is that the budget chair, get us some information to the members of this council how much money is in the budget for the bus services. We need to know to a penny how much we got in the bank. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Any other questions or comments on this item? We've been around the world on it, but I think we have a good understanding of it now. Okay. Colleagues, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, so it's 6 in favor, 1 abstention. All right, item 25.
Order amending the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget of the Department of Public Works Solid Waste Division for the purchase of a knuckle boom loader pursuant to Sections 331-7-13 of the Mississippi Code of 1972 as amended.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on this item. We had a good discussion about it yesterday. Any additional questions or comments?
Just a comment, and that is, and please correct me if I'm not right here, but we have one new buckle boom truck that's new. We have one that's used, severely used, and now we're ordering a third one. This should significantly impact our ability to go around and pick up the open dumps around the city. Is that correct?
Lakeisha Weather Solid Waste, yes, we have one that we've already purchased, yes, one that is extremely outdated, and this one that we're about to purchase, yes.
Okay. How long do you anticipate it taking to get those, this new one up and running? Once we ordered it, what's the time frame? 6 months, a year?
That's up to the garage. Once we get it in our hands, it's up to the garage to do the tags and the decal. Last time it took us about 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, and that would be something that we really need to work on. I appreciate that because, you know, if we have a new truck and we're just waiting on decals, you know, who's going to pull you over, JPD? You have to clean up our city. And the other question is, how are we doing on CDL drivers for these trucks?
Currently, we have 4, and we're in the process of hiring one more.
So we do have enough.
Yes,
Oh,
to
we're getting
operate the
there.
trucks, yes.
Okay,
we are.
thank you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right, colleagues, any other questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, all in favor? Carries with a vote of 7-0. I am putting item 26 after a discussion yesterday in work session. We're putting item 26 in the Public Works Committee. Mr. Griselle has said that he will have a committee meeting quickly so that we can address this item at the May 20th meeting. And just as a quick aside, that meeting will be at 6 p.m. This will be the first time that we've gone back to night meetings. So May 20th, 6 p.m., we will take this item up after it has been, if it is in fact brought back out of committee in the next 2 weeks, okay? But I'm optimistic. All right, item 27.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute a construction engineer and inspection services agreement with Stantec Consulting Services, Inc. for the Group A Traffic Signal Project STP-0250-000005 LPA 109282-701000 Hines County.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. We had a good discussion about this yesterday. Any other questions or comments? Mr. Foote?
Thank you, Madam President. My question is on this agreement with Stantec. If, you know, we've got a lot of different traffic issues across the city, traffic lights that are not working, or sometimes there's issues of how long the lights stay green in some particular areas and what time of day and whatever. Is this consulting service agreement going to go into those type of details as to all the traffic lights across the city? Not only that they're working, but that they've got their time in a way that helps the traffic flow through the city in a efficient way?
Louis Rice, CAO. No, this contract will not do that. This is only for that.
Bobby Rush.
Pardon me?
This for Bobby Rush.
Yeah, this is for the traffic signals along Bobby Rush.
And just along Bobby Rush.
Another contract to deal with the timing and all of that. But this will not take care of any
Okay.
timing issues.
We do need to figure that, address the timing issues, because a lot of citizens are just frustrated with, particular lights on the roads they drive on.
Right. When we find out about situations like that, we can go into that control panel and try to straighten the timing out.
Is that right?
Yes.
Are you the person to call then on that?
Yes, sir, you can use me as a contact.
Okay.
Madam
Well,
President?
look,
Thank you.
Go
yes,
ahead.
sir, I call those purgatory. Yes, Dr. Omori?
Yeah, I'd like to say that 311 is better than calling Mr. Wright directly and overwhelming him with those kinds of details. However, when we are aware of them, they get taken care of right away.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. Mr. Hartley?
Yes, two quick questions. One, this particular, I think you explained in work session, this particular item is for arms that are going to hold the traffic lights in place.
That's
Right?
correct.
And this is for Highway 80 and Robinson Road and Bobby Rush Boulevard.
Robinson Road, Lynch Street,
Lynch Street, okay.
Highway 80, the traffic signals along Bobby Rush, as well as Highway 80 and West Haven Boulevard.
Excellent, thank you. And,
That's Ward 3, right?
no, that's Ward 5. That's Ward 5. I was getting ready to say, I didn't buy you lunch or coffee or anything for any of this, it just came up. But the other question is this, since you're making these type style changes or support, or is that going to be across the entire city? Is this a particular style we're going to across the city, or?
This is the style that we're going through, but this is just for one group. We'll have other groups probably in the future where we'll be changing out the traffic signal style.
Okay. And the other question, and I apologize, Madam Chair, just one other question. But last budget season, we allocated additional money for traffic and lights and so forth. Can you tell me if anything's, what else has been done? I noticed they did some street marking along Lynch. Thank you very much. What else have we been doing with that funding?
Yeah, we're working on just regular street lights that the city owns. Many of these street lights are leased and maintained by Entergy, but there are some streets that the city owns the street lights, especially over some of our bridges, the Fortification Street Bridge, Bailey Avenue, as well as Mays Street. And we're working on getting those street lights repaired.
Right, so if someone call in and say, hey, there's a street light out, they call the 960-1111 line, the Mayor's Action line, you guys will make that decision on whether it's an energy issue or whether it's a city issue?
311 would make that call in terms of whether or not it's something that the city needs to repair or if Entergy needs to be notified. Now, citizens can call Entergy directly through that 1-800-9-OUTAGE number, as well as going through the mobile app to identify addresses and streets, poles where lights are out. So citizens have several ways of reporting Entergy maintained lights that are out.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's get back on topic with the item before us. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It carries with a vote of 7-0. Item 28.
Order accepting the bid of Lewis Electric, Inc. for the Group A Signal Improvements Project STP-0250-00005 LPA 109282-701000, subject to concurrence by the Mississippi Transportation Commission.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments, Mr. Foote?
Thank you, Madam President. I don't think we covered this yesterday.
We
but-
didn't.
So I'm curious what this is that requires the concurrence by the MDOT on, what is it exactly that's being done here that requires the approval of MDOT?
Well, this is Lewis Rice, CAO. This is an LPA project, so MDOT will approve this. They've already approved it. This is actually getting the contractor, this order will give the contractors the ability to go in and make these changes.
So what are they changing?
Well, we're changing,
in relationship to the previous order, where
Oh.
we're changing the lights on Bobby Rush
So this
Boulevard.
is related to the previous
Right,
one?
the previous one was
Okay.
just for the CNI, construction, engineering, and inspection.
Okay.
This one will be actually doing the work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and we did discuss that
Yeah.
yesterday, sorry, I forgot. All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, it is 7-0, moving on to 29.
Order authorizing payment of full and final settlement of all claims against the city of Jackson in the matter of Earl and Deborah Anderson versus Casanova Reed et al. In the Circuit Clerk of Hinds County, Mississippi, First Judicial District, Civil Action Number 18-187.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on this item. Any questions or comments?
Question,
Yes, sir, Mr. Stokes.
just anything you can tell us without us going to closed session.
Thank you.
This is a motor vehicle, Drew Martin, City Attorney. This is a motor vehicle accident caused by our officer. He was off duty at the time, but he was driving a city JPD vehicle and caused pretty significant injuries.
That's-
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this one? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, it's a vote of 6-1. Thank you. We're now moving on to item 30.
Order ratifying and authorizing payment to Advantage Business Systems, Inc. for printing and copying services for the Office of the Clerk of Council.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on this item. Colleagues, you should have been given a handout on that yesterday. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Thank you. We're moving now to item 31.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute a 48-month rental agreement with Advantage Business Systems, Inc. for a Konica Minolta BizHub C451i color copier to be used by the Office of the Clerk of Council.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. You also were given this yesterday. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It's a vote of 7-0. Thank you, colleagues. We are now moving into discussion items. Mr. Stokes, we took care of item 32 during the public comments.
Could
Yes,
I
sir.
ask legal for, the Mary Jones Center Pool has been closed for a number of years. We opened the lines of communication with the neighborhood group off Bale Avenue. I think of the name, Senior Mom, but anyway, we have not heard anything back. We talked to Reverend Walker about the possibility of Cherry Grove Church in the city of Jackson doing something jointly so we can get the pool open and in a working condition again. And I asked him to come. He had a list of other things they want to try to do with the neighborhood. But could we get legal to try to open the lines of communication with Reverend Walker, Cherry Grove Church, and I think it's another church in North Jackson that also they trying to get the lights over at Coach Gordon Park, old J.C. Park. If we can get these two churches to work together with the city, it's probably too late now to get the pool open this particular summer, but we probably can work to get it open next year.
Yes, sir. If you could just give me contact information, then we'll reach out, certainly.
Reverend Walker, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is that everything on item 32, Mr. Stokes?
Yeah, the other things, I think he passed it out to the council, now
He
we'll
did.
get it. Okay,
Well, we have, yeah, thank you.
okay.
All right, you have the next discussion
Ms.
item.
Campbell.
Campbell is all
Thank
it
you.
says. Yeah.
Yes, Ms. Campbell, could you, this is the mother, this is the mother of a young man, a fireman in the city of Jackson that had been with the fire department for at least 2 years. And the state is controlling who and what firemen now are selected. And I want to thank the legal department for working with us. We found out that Tupelo and Gulfport normally do not have to send there through the state. But when I talked to the chief, the concern is we won't be able to certify them. Chief, is that what you said? We can't certify. So if we can't certify them, then they cannot become firemen. And that's what this mother's here for, because she's concerned that what has happened to her son is nothing less than discrimination. She feels that her son was done wrong. They never told, and the chief told us before, that they do not tell us why they dismiss them or anything else. Only thing they do is say, you're dismissed. And her son was the only black fireman at the time through that class. And like any mother, and as we prepare for Mother's Day, all mothers concerned will fight for their children. And Ms. Campbell brought the issue to me. Her husband was the police officer, Campbell, who retired from Jackson Police Department. And his son wanted to continue to work for the city of Jackson because of their love for the city of Jackson. And that's why we're trying to find some avenue of closure, if we can. And Chief, you can let us know what we can do, but Ms. Campbell just here to try to find out what the city can do and will do. But I think the issue now is whether or not, even if we allow us to test them, we can't certify. Could you kind of explain that to us, please?
Yeah, so, you can be hired as a firefighter one, right? And within 1 year, they say that you have to be certified within that 1 year through the State Fire Academy. However, if you fail the test, you fail to be certified within that 1 year, you can appeal to the Minimum Standard Board. The Minimum Standard Board are the people that certify firefighters. So you can appeal for an extra year. They, most of the times, will give you an extra year to become certified. Most of the times. It all depends on what happened while you were out there at the State Fire Academy, you know, if you had any type of other disciplinary action or whatever. But most of the time, they will let you have another year to be certified. But other than that, we cannot certify them. That's something that has to be changed through the state legislature, from my understanding. And, I mean, it's just, I hate that, but that's what happened. We can train our firefighters, but we cannot certify them.
Well,
They don't really tell you what's going on, you know, as a parent. I want to know why he was told he had to leave.
Ma'am, I need you to state your name for the record, please.
As a parent,
Tell
as
you.
a grandparent,
State your name for the record.
Dr. Valerie Campbell and my son, who's also my grandson, is a wonderful firefighter in Jackson. And so he went to Rankin County for the program there, and he was dismissed. And it was very unclear, why are you dismissed? He flunked something? What can he do? He was supposed to have another chance to be able to take the test. Nobody tells him anything. So I'm feeling like, okay, was this discrimination? You know, why did this happen to him? Why can't anybody tell us what's going on? And I wanted to go over there, and they said, no, don't go over there, that's Rankin County. You know, and I'm concerned that there's nothing we can do, and you know what's going on. So that's my concern as a parent.
and, Madam President, what make it worse is that, you know how hearsay get out here. Then they start saying that he was chopping, stealing cars, and we don't know if it came from Rankin County or Jackson Fire Department, which is not true. This family, I don't look at their money, but these family probably they own property all over the state. They just got a commitment to Jackson and trying to help. And then to have him dismissed, as the chief is saying, without giving no cause. And he was the only black in that class, and coming from a biracial mother and father, a black father and a white mother, they're concerned, and I think the state of Mississippi need to be concerned about what's taking place out there. I know the chief said before that surely they ought to at least tell us who, what, why. And people can live with that, and if not, then with any state law, slavery was a law, and it was challenged. We can surely challenge this law, especially if it's wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Mr. Banks, did you?
Yeah. So that has always been the process. After 1 year, the state always certifies. We've never been able to certify our own.
Yes, at one time, we used to certify our own firefighters. I can't remember what year it was they changed that, but it's been quite a few years that the state took over from certifying all firefighters in the state of Mississippi.
Okay, and do we know, was that ever challenged when that took place?
I remember when Chief McNulty was the fire chief, and he and I and the senator from up in, about Greenwood.
Okay.
What's his name? Jordan. Yeah, Senator Jordan. Yeah, we went to the state fire marshal and talked with them about it, and he said that at that particular time wasn't anything they were going to do about it. This was, I want to say back in 05, 06 or something like that, when we went before the state fire marshal to talk about that.
And you have a training center, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess the question is, Chief, since this seems to be guided by state legislation, is there any contact with any other chiefs in similar municipalities that want to look at amending this law, maybe at a population size and a population of 50,000, they can have their own academy? I mean, have those conversations started?
Not that I know of.
Okay. I would just, to those on the legislative committee and coming up, think that is something that needs to be pushed for. Even with MML, I think that might be something advantageous for cities like Hattiesburg, Meridian, to take advantage of that. And so nothing we can do about it now, but I think that it's a fight worth fighting. And whomever watched that win, it should have went down without a fight.
Right, I agree.
Madam President?
Yes, sir, Mr. Stokes.
Now, it's not etched in stone, but the cities of Tupelo and Gulfport have some consideration where they're training their firefighters, and it's my understanding, but the certification still come from the state.
Correct.
So it's just, if they're giving them the authority to train, then surely they recognize it's not fair for big cities. Jackson is the biggest city.
Right.
And this is an urban fire department versus a volunteer fire department where somebody couldn't meet, then they go and put on uniform, by then they go fight the fire, everything burnt down. So they can't compare Jackson to Boonville and those places. Yeah. And the precedence has been set because of how they're treated Gulfport and Tupelo. So we just need, I still say the best option is go to court and let a judge recognize. And I think the best case is this young man, because he became a fireman. He was like, what, 19?
Yeah.
Mr. City Attorney, I think probably the best thing is for you to analyze this and look at it and make some sort of recommendation.
I'd be happy to do that. I've actually done some of this already at Councilman Stokes' request. I've got some research on this that I'd be happy to share with council. I probably didn't forward it to the chief, which I probably need to do. But we'll talk about what can be done.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Madam President.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, and thank you. All right. And I do agree with Mr. Banks, too, that if after our legal team looks at it, that if there's no other course, then perhaps it should be considered for part of the legislative package for next year. All right, item 34, Mr. Hartley, is discussion on new finance process, procedure, personnel, and status.
Madam Chair, I think due to the absence of Mr. Mellenbecker, our CFO, I'd like to postpone this until our next session.
All right, thank you for that. All right, discussion, council and mayor pay raises, that's me. I am not going to discuss this today because I'm still working on something, so stay tuned. I'll discuss it with council probably at the next work session. All right, and then discussion, litigation, legal matters. Do we need to go into executive session for this, Mr. Martin?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
All right, well, then let's go on and move to everything else. Colleagues, monthly report of privilege taxes as required according to section 27-17-501 of the Mississippi Code. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, did everybody get that and see it? All right. Okay, all right. Ms. Clay, you didn't get it? Okay. All right, okay, we'll work on that, okay. All right, so show of hands on that, the majority of the council saw it. All right, colleagues, any announcements, adjournment statements?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir. Mr. Banks?
that was me.
Yeah, that was his voice. I know we sounded.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No,
Mr.
no,
No, that was Grizel's voice.
Who? Grizel, sorry. Grizel.
All right, thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to personally thank JPD, Hinds County Sheriff's Office, and Capitol Police. We had an amazing West Side May Day this past weekend. It went off without a hitch. We had no issues. If anything, some folks said it was over-policed. But we had a good time. People brought their families out. They brought their grills out. We didn't have all the four-wheelers and everything, the dogs and everything else, but I just really want to say thank you to them, and I really appreciate their support. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have anything, Mr.?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Oh, okay.
I want to make a presentation when do we do it, clerk?
What? What are y'all talking about?
Councilmember Stokes, he was trying to do a presentation under the reports.
Okay.
Okay.
Got a PowerPoint?
Madam President, sometimes when you serve in these governmental positions, you just don't get a chance to truly appreciate the hard work of people who go that extra mile. And you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen during your lifetime. It'll be 2 years on May the 8th that my wife died, and it just devastated me. And I still have a rough time dealing with it. But I want to thank members of this body for helping me through it. And I told people all the time that I was on the ledge and about to jump. And when you have been with someone most of your life, grew up on the same street, and, you know, you really slowly become one. It brings a lot of sadness to your life. It's not anything you wish to anyone, because when you're in that world of sadness, you go to sleep, you're sad, you wake up, you're sad. Least thing you're about to cry. And my father used to always say, you look like a mule chewing ice. And you just learn to adapt. And one young lady who's getting ready to leave the city, one day she did something that just touched me. She gave me a card telling how good God is, and I don't care how many churches you go to, how much you understand and love the Lord. Sometimes simple things like that will make a big, big difference in your life. Now, I slowly turned the corner. It was rough. I still have a ways to go. But I just did not want this day to come by. And I know we're getting ready to change some things and say, oh, we don't know what the future is, this or that. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for throwing me a lifeline when I really needed it. You, I don't care how big or strong you think you are, God can knock you to your knees.
Amen.
And I don't want to say too much because so many people go through so much, and I got a plaque made up and on there's a heart and it say community and say give and giving and humanitarian, all the different things that these people have done. And they don't do it for credit. They don't do it for people to pat them on their back. They do it because God touched their heart. And this one is presented to Mrs. Alice Patterson in honor of your outstanding, bountiful service to the city of Jackson, Mississippi. Kenny I. Stokes, Councilman Ward 3. And I have one, same heart on the front of it and everything, presented to Mrs. Mary Virginia Virgil Lindsay, Councilwoman, in honor of your outstanding and bountiful service to the city of Jackson, Mississippi. I thank y'all. Some days I was in here, then my whole world was upside down, and she'll reach over and touch me and say, you all right? And I could leave early sometimes, but when you leave out of here, you always remember that God is good all the time. So if I can get Ms. Allison Bird to meet me at the podium.
And I thought I had such control over this meeting.
On behalf of the city of Jackson, we thank y'all so much for all you have done and continue to do. We appreciate y'all leadership and y'all caring, because I don't care. You can be up today or you can be down tomorrow.
That's right.
So the thing that you have to understand, that God can do anything but fail. So I want to make sure I presented both of y'all.
Thank you so much.
Tell y'all,
And
thank y'all so much. Ask y'all.
Mr. Stokes, thank you so much. This means the world to me, but more than anything, we are so glad that you are back with us and you're doing so much better. And just for the record, I miss Judge Stokes too, and her notes that she would pass to you when you were in a meeting. So we really do miss her as well. And thank you. This means a lot to me. And I'm very honored that you recognized my Alice too, because I could not do this without her. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. It's like mutton. Okay, now, back to the meeting. Yes, Mr. Banks.
Yes, Madam President, and to the administration, I just want to take this time and opportunity to congratulate here in the city of Jackson the graduates, the graduating class from Tougaloo, and also the 2025 graduating class from Jackson State University, thee I love, and a special congratulations to my baby girl, Kaylin Kalia Banks, that graduated summa cum laude and will be starting med school this fall.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Hartley?
Yes, please bear with me. I have a few announcements. First, I'm sure that the administration is going to announce this coming Saturday is roll-off dumpster day. That's what I've been told. And the ward, the Precinct 2 COPS meeting is going to be this Thursday night at 6 p.m. over at the Western Plaza. In addition, on the 8th, which is Thursday night, you also have a District 3 community meeting with Supervisor Deborah Dixon. It's going to be at Black's Chapel
at 5:30. That's across from West Haven Funeral Home. Also, the Blackburn Middle School will be having their farmers market. This is very popular. It's going to be the farmers market on Friday, May the 9th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Very, very popular, and so get there to make sure you get the food. It's right there at Jackson State University. Get there, make sure you get the food. Everything is grown by the students. Also, the Knights of Pythagoras is going to have a town hall meeting on Saturday, May the 10th at 10 a.m. And this group is dedicated to mentoring and tutoring young men in our community. Knights of Pythagoras, again, that meeting is going to be May 10th at the Jackson Police Academy, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And finally, there is going to be another Ward 5 and mayoral candidate forum on Thursday, that's next Thursday, at 6 p.m. at Mount Nebo Baptist Church, and that's on Tunica Street in Jackson. Again, it's called Your Voice Matters, Ward 5 City Council and Mayoral Candidate Forum, Thursday, May the 15th, 6 p.m., Mount Nebo. Thank you, and just one final thing, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are out there. Happy.
Thank you. All right, anything else, colleagues? All right.
Yes, Madam President.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stokes.
Could we close the meeting on Ms. Margie Partee, Mrs. Vernice Robertson, and Mrs. Sharon Brown? And this weekend, we'll have the celebration of Mrs. Maudine Taylor's birthday, who will be 104 years young. And we want to thank Mr. Wright for coming to Cornerstone Church, Reverend Williams, and give us a bridge update. And we also want to wish all the mothers happy Mother's Day, and, grandmother, just anyone who have, some of these mothers are mothers and fathers. And we just want to thank you for caring about these babies, but all the mothers want to say Happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and colleagues, anything else? All right, sorry, Dr. Omari. Dr. Omari.
Okay, yes. I would like to recognize my oldest grandson, Johnny Malik Smith, who will be graduating from the University of South Florida with his BA in Business and Accounting on May 10th.
That's nice, thank you. And congratulations to all of you who have great things happening in May. So, anything else? All right, if not, colleagues, I would take a motion to go into closed session for the purposes of discussing going into actual executive session for discussion regarding legal matters and litigation.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, it's a vote of 6-0. Executive session. While we were in executive session, no official action was taken. Is there anything else to come before this body at this time?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mr.
Just,
Hartley.
I had announced about the farmer's market with the children generating the vegetables over at Blackburn Middle School. I've just been sent a note that it's been postponed until next Saturday, the 16th, due to inclement weather anticipated.
Thank you.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Anything else to come before this body at this time? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.